Okay, I want to call the City Council meeting of December 3rd to order, and we'll start with the pledge of the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Barry Chang.
Present.
Councilmember Mark Santoro.
Here.
Councilmember Rod Sinks.
Here.
Vice Mayor Gilbert Wong.
Present.
Mayor Orrin Mahoney.
Here. Okay, we have a really long meeting tonight, as you know. But we do have ceremonial matters and presentations. I have a proclamation for the Anza Optimist Club of Cupertino, and is there someone? Come on up. All right. Okay. I will read it. Whereas the City of Cupertino wishes to recognize the Anza Optimist Club of Cupertino and their volunteers who have demonstrated their commitment and enthusiasm to the community, and whereas they have dedicated the last 20 years to pancake flipping and joyous holiday spirit at Cupertino's annual Breakfast with Santa event, and whereas this annual event began in 1992, and each year the men and women of the club arrive at dawn to begin cooking pancakes and sausage for approximately 250 participants, and whereas the club organizes the buffet, serves the meal, and coordinates the cleanup while directing high school volunteers to assist with their efforts. Whereas most importantly, the club members show up every year with smiles on their faces and adorned with Santa's hats and accessories to provide the participants with a magical holiday experience. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and City Council of Cupertino do hereby extend our heartfelt appreciation to the Anza Optimist Club of Cupertino for all their contributions and hard work, this just being one of them, that they put in every year to make the Cupertino Breakfast with Santa event a memorable and successful event for the people of our community. So, thanks.
Thanks, Orrin.
Can you tell us a little bit more about when it happens this year?
Actually, it happens this Saturday. So if you have young children and you haven't already made reservations through the Cupertino Park and Recreation Department, call them because it's their show. We're just Santa's helpers. But we do the pancake breakfast on the 4th of July in conjunction with the city. And actually, I've been involved with that for the last 30 years. And it's our pleasure to serve the citizens of the area of Cupertino, and especially the youth, because that's our focus. Thank you, Orrin.
And we'll talk later when we talk about council reports, but Friday night is the tree lighting that's going to kick off the holiday for the city of Cupertino. I have it on good authority that Santa will be there, and unfortunately, I will not be.
You're not the Santa this year, Orrin? Are you sure?
No children under 13 should listen to that.
Okay. Okay, postponements.
No postponements,
No postponements,
Mr. Mayor.
oral communication. I have one card here under oral communication. That's Barbara Rogers.
Honorable Mayor and Council, preliminary congratulations, if I may be so presumptive, on your new positions, and thanks to all of you for serving so well last year. Thank you officially for co-sponsoring the Housing, Community, and Longevity Forum on November 5. It was a great success, and I was happy to see there the mayor who welcomed us, as well as the 3 councilmen who were in town. Thank you to staff for their assistance. They always make the city look good. And in this instance, I thank them especially for arranging a follow-on meeting to the last community workshop in order to address senior issues and also VALCO. It will be held 5 to 6:45 p.m. this Thursday, December 5, in the old council chambers. I appreciate the staff is welcoming new input since the Forum on Aging in place was held on November 5, and that they are bringing this topic to the forefront since it wasn't a major concern when the general plan review process originally was scoped. I'm responding to Mayor Orrin's request to learn more about new housing options and programs to serve aging in place. That is, living in the home of one's choice with support and connections to thrive as long as one lives. I have 3 requests. 1, that the voice of older adults in Cupertino be heard in the update of the general plan, that they be recognized as one of the community stakeholders in the general plan review process, and especially also as one of the stakeholders in the review of the housing element, and that they be asked what they think is important, what would make their extended lives more happy and meaningful, both to them and to the benefit of the city and its residents. 2, that there be a cross-cutting look at how the city is prepared for its population of older adults to more than triple in the next 20 years. Council might consider instructing each of its advisory commissions to assess existing programs and practices serving Cupertino's older adults, learn about how other communities are preparing for growth of their elder demographic, and report their suggestions to Council for next steps in preparing Cupertino for the demographic shift. 3, that the general plan's housing element be a state-of-the-art document incorporating national best practices. Council should consider amending the consulting contract to allow for the consultant to survey the housing elements of cities which already have included language recognizing the unique and changing needs of older adults, to consider ways to streamline zoning and approval processes for housing which serves Cupertino's older adults, to inventory incentives which can be offered to developers, and to educate city staff and council about innovative options for services that can support aging in place. I'd very much like to see the city plan for senior housing, particularly with the looming, burgeoning elderly population, before all the land use decisions have been made and all the development has been planned or already has occurred. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barbara. Oh,
Can I ask Barbara
yes, go ahead.
a question? Barbara, you mentioned 3 requests. Number 1, a senior update on the general plan. Do you mean that we hold a general plan input from the senior, especially for the senior at the senior center, or what do you have in mind?
It could be done in a number of ways, and I'd like to talk with you further about it. Unless you really want to go into it tonight, I suppose you'd rather really vote tonight. But there are many ways that it could be done, and I'd be happy to talk with you, in fact, with all of you about that later. But yes.
Okay. And then the number 3 request to change the consultant to including the survey. Do you know
Yes.
how much that will cost?
No,
extra?
I don't. But I presume you have money set aside for contingencies, and I can't think of a better use for it.
Okay. David, do you have any idea if we change it to say including the?
That won't be a very significant expense.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And there are other ways that can be handled through whatever.
Before you leave, Barbara, the workshop that you mentioned, there were some wonderful speakers there, and they had some slides. Are those available to the public?
They will be with all things mechanical, as we have learned watching television extensively, and all kinds of programs. Little things can happen to make the process worse for a minute, but they're working on it, and they will be available. And I will send you all an email, and you'll be getting a blast from the Institute also when that happens. And I hope it's sooner rather than later, but I can't promise.
Thank you.
Great. So
Thank you for your interest.
and I want to thank you for your work on this. So as many people may know, a few years ago, we had a senior commission, and we kind of folded that into the advisory group at the senior center. But you're taking on that role of being a one-person senior commission and driving this, and I appreciate it.
Well, I have a lot of help from Quota and from other members who can't get here to speak for whatever good and worthy reason. Thank you.
Thank you.
Barbara, I also want to thank you for twisting my arm and then all the other council's arm. Okay.
You're more than welcome anytime.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
How many of us were there? You had 4 or 5 of us?
4 out of 5.
Everybody,
Out of 10.
everybody that was in the country was
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
amazing.
Great. Okay, anybody else for oral communications? Seeing no one, we'll get on to the main event. Actually, before we do that, Gilbert, you wanted to introduce some of the dignitaries that are here, in particular some that were you invited?
Yes, so we have a lot of public officials tonight for a very important meeting tonight. And first, I want to recognize Congressman Mike Honda's representative, Allen. who's out in the audience, as well as California State Assemblymember Paul Fong's representative, Patrick Ahern, is here, as well as Santa Clara County Lori Smith, as well as Captain Carl Nusso, Captain Ken Binder, and Captain John Hirakawa, who's all sitting out in the back, as well as Campbell Mayor Evan Lowe. This is his last day here as mayor today, and he'll be rushing to his mayor's meeting at 7:30. You don't want to keep City Manager Mark Linder waiting, as well as your Vice Mayor waiting to be. We also have Fremont Union High School trustee Hung Wei in the audience as well too, and two former mayors, Barbara Rogers and Michael Chang. And of course, I'm going to miss people here on this list here. Many other community leaders. We're very fortunate to have two special guests from the city of San Francisco. First is Council Lu Chen and Meng Jihua, Council from the People's Republic of China, representing the Consul General's office in San Francisco. And lastly, Director General Bruce Fu, representing the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office. And want to say a warm welcome to our dignitaries who are here today. We have many other community leaders that will be recognized when they come during the public hearing. Thank you.
Okay, now for the main event. The next item on the agenda, the next item and the only item on the agenda is the election of the mayor and vice mayor, and we will start with electing our next mayor, and I would ask for nominations at this point in time.
I nominate Gilbert Wong to be the mayor.
Second?
Second?
Okay. Any other nominations? All right, seeing none, let us vote.
Motion
All right.
carries unanimously.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And next we have the vice mayor. And again, I would ask for nominations for vice mayor.
I nominate Ross Signet as vice mayor.
Second?
Any other nominations? Seeing none?
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, thank you. Next we, yes. Got to wait till they take the oath of office. But that's coming up. Okay, so
Yeah,
next
they
are
have to
the-
say yes. so.
Yeah, right. They have to get the oath right too. The next are the oaths of office. So
I'd like to invite Sheriff Lori Smith to the stage to swear in newly elected Mayor Gilbert Wong. Oh, you guys have.
Need to use a little bit force, huh?
Allison's afraid you might swear her in and she'd have to sit up here with us. So.
If I can ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
I, Gilbert Wong,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear full faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
California,
the Constitution of the State of California.
that I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose or evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
that I'm about to enter
that I am about to enter
for the city of Cupertino.
for the City of Cupertino.
Congratulations.
all right, now.
Now I would like to invite Fremont Union High School District Board Trustee Hung Wei to the stage to swear in our newly elected Vice Mayor Rod Sinks.
It's okay if your daughter to come up and join you back.
It's a pleasure and honor to do that, to swear you in. Rod,
Thank you.
please raise your right hand. I,
I,
please state your name,
Rod Sink,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support and defend the Constitution of the United
to
States
support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and to the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter for the city of Cupertino.
the duties that I will enter for the city of Cupertino.
Congratulations, Rod. Well, I got permission from your daughter Christina to test you, so I spoke a little longer in the end.
Thank you.
Now would the newly elected Mayor Gilbert Wong and our former Mayor Orrin Mahoney like to switch seats?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Grace, and thank you very much, fellow council members. At this time, it calls for me to invite council members to make comments, and we'll start with former Mayor Orrin Mahoney. Oh, never mind. We're at number 6. Before we do that, we go to number 6, comments by the new mayor. And I'll follow the script here. And this is that I will give you the obligatory things. And let me just get it over here. And if we can go on the front, I think. Okay. Do it.
The microphone.
You would think after 3 years I would remember how to do this and everything. First thing is ceremonial for the incoming mayor to give the gavel to Orrin Mahoney for his second time as mayor for the city of Cupertino. So I know that he'll make this gavel in very good use and go along with the other gavel that he got.
Very good, thank you.
And
This is even.
yeah, this is even more with his lovely wife. And so this is a bottle of wine from Cupertino, Italy, from Councilmember Mauro Valentino, and I think that will make better use to give it to our mayor as he is a fond lover of wine, and it goes well with the a gift certificate of a local Italian restaurant, Fontana's.
All right. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I think the city manager might
Oh, yeah.
presentation as well too. While we're up here, I also want to recognize Patrick Kwok, who is our former mayor as well too. So.
And there's another tradition we have here in Cupertino. Let's get this tag on.
I'm here.
Is to thank the mayor, outgoing mayor, for having a very good year for us in the city, and on behalf of staff.
Oh, thank you. All right. But I don't have to sign anything anymore.
You don't. Well,
Thanks.
Now here comes the scary part when the mayor makes a speech on what he wants to do. And when I went to Toyokawa, Japan, I know some of the delegates are here. I would try to make it short, but I don't think so. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Sheriff Lori Smith and Fremont Union High School Board Hung Wei for their assistance in tonight's ceremony. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be your mayor for the city of Cupertino. This is not something new to me, as I was honored to be mayor 3 years ago, and I'm proud to be your mayor for the second time. I'd like to say thank you to the City Council for voting me this position. I would like to congratulate Vice Mayor Ross Sinks into his new position, and I look forward to working with Rod. I would also like to congratulate our two-time mayor, Orrin Mahoney. He has served our community for 8 years on the council and 8 years on the planning commission, and I'm delighted to serve with him one more year as he offered lots of experience for the council. I also look forward to working to my other two council member colleagues. I have known Barry Chang for many years. His long service on the Cupertino School District School Board, and now on the council. Barry is a very passionate person, and his heart is always in the right place. Also, of course, my good friend Mark Santoro, who has been an advocate for open and transparent government. Mark has always been out looking for my back and to make sure that I am out of trouble. The 5-member city council would not be effective if it was not for our excellent city staff. There are so many city employees that I cannot acknowledge all of them. However, I do want to point out our city manager, David Brandt, and our city attorney, Carol Parade, who are both directly hired by the city council, who helps the city council keep informed and help keep the city council informed and up to speed as we make public policy to run our city. I'd like to say thank you to all of our city staff. Before I forget, I want to acknowledge that life as an elected official is not easy without the support of my family. I want to acknowledge my wife, Helen, as well as my two daughters, Allison and Emily, who are very shy out there. This is my 6th year on the council, and prior to that, I spent 6.5 years on the planning commission. I want to thank my family for their patience as their father attends council meetings, chamber grand opening ceremonies, community workshops, etc., as it takes a lot of time. Thank you for letting me be a council member and mayor. Also, yes, I did see him. Also, I want to thank my father, Alan Wong, who came also 3 years ago too. He is my boss. We have our own family business, and if it wasn't for my father and my mother, Alan and Lane Wong, I would not be successful. My father is an immigrant from mainland China and came to this country like many other immigrants for a successful life, not only for me, my brother, and my sister, but also for my children and many other children as well too. I will be going into more detail of the State of the City address at the end of January, but to give a brief preview, I am proud to live in the city of Cupertino. We just finished the public hearing process of the approval of the Apple Campus 2 project. This continues the legacy of Steve Jobs and his vision for his company and his employees. As he stated 3 years ago in this room, it will take about another 3 years to build that $5 billion spaceship in Cupertino. So what are we going to do in 2014? There are so many things that we need to continue to work on. First is we have a real opportunity to find a vision for Valco Mall, like Steve Jobs did with the Apple Campus 2. The city started this year with a general plan amendment of what we want the city to be like in the near future. Now may be the time to be proactive with our mall and work on a specific plan in conjunction with the general plan amendment of what residents view the mall should be if the landlord is ready to revitalize the mall. This is an opportunity for the city to be proactive. We have a golden jewel located right in the middle of the city, just like Apple Inc. Next year, I'd like to strengthen our ties with the school districts, Cupertino School District, Fremont Union High School District, and the Foothill de Anza Community College District. Cupertino is known for our excellent public schools, and I want to collaborate to work closely with them with traffic around the schools, partnership of the after-school programs, or continuing use of our joint agreements of using their school fields to augment our public parks. Schools are just as important as our library, as Cupertino has the highest circulation of the Santa Clara County Library District. We can tell by our full parking lot at City Hall and want to work closely to resolve the parking issues and expand a community room with the library so that it can become more popular. Lastly, what makes Cupertino special is the residents that we live in a very multicultural community. We have residents who have ancestry from all over the world. They could have picked anywhere to live in Silicon Valley, but chose Cupertino for its excellent schools or just a great place to live. I want to continue and strengthen the wonderful city programs that bring our residents and business together, like the neighborhood block programs, sister city committees, and Leadership Cupertino 95014. Last weekend, I celebrated my soon-to-be 48th birthday next year in the city in San Francisco with my family. The Lunar New Year is the year of the horse, which is my year, and I know that I'm not 60, and I wish that I was 36, but I know that my next birthday will be special because I get to retire on my birthday as mayor on December 2nd, 2014. Just last weekend, I visited with my family in San Francisco the Walt Disney Family Museum at the Presidio. At the end of the museum tour, there was a quote by Mr. Walt Disney that reminded me of Cupertino, and I'd like to leave you with this thought tonight. You can dream, create, design, and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it requires people to make that dream a reality. I believe the words of Walt Disney apply to Cupertino. We have the right people to make Cupertino a better community and a better city. Thank you. At this time, item number 7, I will have comments from the City Council, and this is where I give it to our former Mayor, Orrin Mahoney. Thanks, Orrin.
Thanks, Gilbert. So first of all, I'd just like to say it's been a great year. It's been a pleasure to be the mayor of Cupertino, the mayor of a great city. As you all know out there, the mayor is primarily a ceremonial position. And while, as you heard, all of us try to go to all the different events that we can, usually the mayor has that special obligation to show up at different events, and I've tried to do that on most things. One of the things that continues to please me is that almost every event that I go to, whether it's meeting with Cub Scouts or going to an Eagle Scout ceremony or going to the California Youth Symphony concert or whatever it is, almost every time there's something that I feel like I should go to. By the time I'm done, I'm so glad that I got to go to it, because it really does put you out in the community and let you experience all the great things that are going on here in Cupertino. It is, primarily a ceremonial role, and I have no more power or no more votes than any of my fellow council members. So it's been great this year in particular working with the rest of my fellow council members. We've done a lot of great things, culminating with the biggest project by far that the city's, I'm going to say ever going to see. You never know in the future, but certainly that it's seen in the past, the Apple II campus. But there were lots of other projects that came through here. And we really, in every case, the dialogue and interaction and negotiations that we had here as a council made every one of those projects better. So we really worked together well this year, and I'm just happy to be working with these guys and happy to be working with them for another year, taking Gilbert's leadership. So thanks.
Thank you, Orrin. Vice Mayor Rodsings.
Thank you, Mayor Wong. Congratulations. Looking forward to serving with all of you folks. I looked at some videos of what the City Council was a couple, 3 years ago, and I would say compared to that, we know how to work well together. And we've figured out how to help each other, right? Improve how we process things and how we deal with each other. It's a tough job because of the Brown Act, we don't get to confer with more than one council member before things come before us. So very often we have no clue on how things are going to come down. And it comes down to really being critically listening, listening to the speakers, taking a look at the written staff report and information from the public that comes up. And then we have to think on our feet, talk on our feet. And I have to say that I appreciate my colleagues. I think we have one of the best councils around from what I can tell, having served on the Cities Association now for 2 years. I have some perspective on the turmoil happening in some neighboring cities, whether it's schools fights or council fights and so forth. So I really appreciate having the opportunity to work with you, as well as staff. And I think if you look at what's been going on in town, the new restaurants opening up, the new retail centers on Stevens Creek in the vicinity of Target, And now with Main Street under plow and the Apple campus, the deconstruction of the buildings there beginning, things happening as quickly as possible, we really have a building spree going on, and I think these projects will be projects that have wonderful longevity and lasting value to the city. And so, you know, the council and the staff have, as well as, of course, the folks bringing the projects to us, and the public whose voice needs to be heard, we all have a role to play in ensuring that we have and get good development in town. So I'd like to thank Hung Wei, who's former president of the high school board, for swearing me in. I picked her because if there's one institution loved more than the city, in the city, it's got to be schools. And, you know, schools represent really the core and the heart and soul of what we're about, which is education and wanting to build a great future for our kids. So aside from being a personal friend and so many other things that she does for our community, I'm honored to have you join me on stage today. And yeah, I'd like to thank my family as well, Britta and Christina. My son is away at college in Vermont, but I know he's watching, so I appreciate your all partaking as you could in this. And I look forward to a great next year. I think we're on a roll as a city.
Thank you, Rod. Councilmember Barry Chang.
I want to thank former Mayor Orrin Mahoney, who did a very good job last year. We accomplished quite a lot, especially the Main Street project. We're hoping to be on time, on schedule, so we can have a downtown for Cupertino, a real downtown. So we're looking forward for that. And then the next one is Apple project. You know, so 3 years, it will come, the spaceship really landing in Cupertino. So really proud on doing that. And then as you have all said that we've been working together very well. And I learned a lot, and I really appreciate it. So my comments really short. Okay, it's a daunting job to be the mayor, so congratulations to Mayor Wong and the Vice Mayor Sink. That's a daunting job. It's not an easy job, so congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Councilmember Mark Central.
It's a good thing I don't prepare my speeches ahead of time because you've all said what I would have said. I guess I'd like to start by my view of a city council member is someone that should serve the public. And my view of the mayor is somebody who should serve the city council. And with that said, I'd like to thank outgoing Mayor Mahoney for doing a fine job at that. And encourage the new mayor to do as well. I'd also like to thank the staff for their wonderful help and support that they give all of us. And especially thank the rest of my fellow council members who've already said that this is a fine council. We don't always agree. And it is difficult to work things out here in front of the cameras. But this is a really good council, and all my fellow council members clearly care about the city, and that's more than anyone can ask for. But mostly I want to thank the residents. I mean, one of the reasons we have a council that works well together is you all elected us, and you pay attention to what we do, and the more that the public pays attention, the better off your representative government will be. So I want to thank all of you for all of your help. With that said, I guess I'd like to welcome the new Vice Mayor, Rod Sinks, who I'm sure will do a fine job. And is this the part where I get to roast the mayor? So it's interesting how things change, because I remember a couple of years ago, Emily fighting for the mic to talk to the crowd, and now this year she's sitting quietly in the audience. So clearly Gilbert's speeches is normal or longer than mine, so I'm trying to babble and make it sound a lot too overshadowed here. But, and in terms of having your back, I think the entire council will have your back as long as you do the right thing.
Is that the warning?
Encouragement. I think it's encouragement. So with that said, for those of you wondering why I'm dressed this way, there was a rumor that I was going to wear a T-shirt tonight, or sweatshirt, which I was thinking about. But in respect
I want to see the fishing flannel shirt.
In respect for the new mayor and vice mayor, I thought I would dress a little nicer. So congratulations to the new mayor and vice mayor. It's been an honor working with you two. I look forward to the next year with the entire council and our wonderful city.
Thank you, Mark. So at this time, I invite members of the audience to just line up and speak. I don't have speaker cards. I do have Barbara Rogers, so we'll start off. No, this is for the old one. So this is, no. So if somebody would like to speak, just come on up and say hello. And if you can just do me a favor and just state all of your names for the record, please.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get this started. My name's Kevin Mcclellan, and I'm here on behalf of the Cupertino Chamber of Commerce. I'm surrounded by several of my board members who are all here to not only thank you guys for just a banner year. I mean, you guys have stated it all, as Mark said, and I'm just really echoing just a lot of hard work, a lot of great work on behalf of the city manager and the staff. Even our city attorney had to jump in the ring several times this year and contributed a lot to the dialogue and the conversation and the process. So I really want to thank all of you guys for that. But as we're looking forward, I really want to say that we're looking forward to next year. Even though we had a banner year this year, I think we all agree that the work is not done, that there's a lot more to do, and that we really are still all in this together. So congratulations. And I would like to present this to our new mayor, Gilbert Wong.
Do you want to introduce your other colleagues?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves.
Okay.
Thank you as well.
Congratulations. My name is Timon Norimoto with PG&E.
John Zarelli, General Manager with Recology.
Mahesh Nehlani, Board Member, Cupertino Chamber of Commerce.
Orrin? What?
We have one for each one of them, right?
Fresh flowers for a fresh start. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do we have any more speakers?
Hi, my name is Winnie Lee, and just wanted to say thank you and congratulations to new Mayor Gilbert Wong. And it was just thank you so much for encouraging and giving all the advice to us commissioners. And it really means a lot to us. You're a great role model, and you even had a speech, even though it wasn't for sure, but you were so well prepared. And so that really encourages us commissioners to be well prepared as well. And so that's a good thing. And you mentioned in your speech that what makes Cupertino special is the citizens. And yes, and I think what makes Cupertino beautiful is just you and council members' ability to work well with staff, to just tirelessly look through all the details, in the budgets, just make sure that our parks are beautiful, our streets are beautiful, our street medians are beautiful, just our city is beautiful, and it's because of, council members looking through tedious ordinances and budgets. So thank you so much for all your years of service. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Winnie Lee.
This works for me.
Any additional speakers that would like to speak? Don't be shy. We have line dancers right after you guys. You're holding up the line dancers.
My name is Stephen Ting. I'm long time Cupertino resident and also a very loyal Cupertino Rotarian. As you know, as a Rotarian, when you get a chance to grab the microphone, you never. So I'm here. I want to.
That's tomorrow.
I want to say, first of all, I want to congratulate both Mayor Wong and Vice Mayor Sinks for the mayor and vice mayorship. I know actually both Mayor Wong and former Mayor Orrin, not only as elected officials, but also as a personal friends for many, many years. And I start with Orrin. And Orrin and I have been traveled together, not only worked together, but traveled together for quite some time, or quite a few times. And I got to know with Orrin that maybe some of you do not know. He actually is a very good drinker.
I didn't know that.
He is a good drinker. But
What do you think we do before these meetings?
The important thing, though,
You mean
is
the good with Mount High or what kind of?
Orange juice.
Right. So that's something I will talk to you after the
All right.
the meeting here. Anyway, so I think what really impressed me is that when we travel together, that he drinks and he talks, but he always gets to the point. He always very specifically in terms of what he want to say, he get to the point. He doesn't waste time. He really gets the job done. And I think what he said earlier, that he was saying that as a mayor, that is a ceremonial position, and it shows to me that this gentleman is very modest, very humble. And as we all know, as a mayor, as many of you have said already, it's not an easy job. And he told me, if I remember, that he has been involved with 37 different projects actively, all related to the city. So I say congratulations, Mayor Orrin Mahoney, or former Mayor Orrin Mahoney. Now you have one less job to do. You have 36 jobs to go by. So thank you again for a wonderful job and your leadership for this last year. And as far as my good friend Mayor Wong, we've been working together for many times, many years, and in multiple different functions. That as you mentioned earlier, that you have highlighted what you want to accomplish in the year 2014. You started with the business, talking about educational institutions, or education. You're talking about community involvement. So I, as one person, as a friend, as a Cupertino resident, I'm looking forward to working with you to make the city even better place to be. Thank you and congratulations. I don't have no flowers, don't have no balloons, but I can give you a hug and a kiss if you wanted to. Congratulations and thank you again.
Thank you, Steve.
Mayor, can I interject one sentence? Steve Ting was the past president of Rotarian. He just been humble, not to mention, just say, well, I'm the Rotarian member. He's the past president of Rotary Club in Cupertino. Steve, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Patrick Kwok, a Cupertino resident and former Cupertino mayor. I want to congratulate Gilbert Wong to be mayor and Rod Singh vice mayor, and also city staff for a year of excellent accomplishments. And as I believe Mark Santoro say, it would not have been possible without the dedication of all the city staff and the former mayor and the city council. Former Mayor Mahoney, I want to thank you for work well done the second time. You have been a very visible mayor, and I think you show up at least 80 or 90% of the ceremonial events, and very visible and very, very willing to help. But most important, you were able to keep the city council together and work well and get the work done. And I want to also address you as Mr. Uncle Sam, July 4th. You've been there every year except this year. I think you were out of town. That is excusable. But always visible, being able to take pictures with the residents. And as residents of Cupertino, I really appreciate the great work of council and former Mayor Mahoney. Thank you very much. And Gilbert and Rod Singh, we're looking forward to working with you for another excellent 2014.
Thank you, Patrick.
Do we have any other speakers? Going once, going twice, 3 times? I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And at this time, I want to give a brief introduction of our next performance. They were here 3 years ago when I was mayor, the Far East Lion Dance. Albert Lay is one of the founders, and it's a group of started out with young kids, high school, college, but now they're working. And after their time, they want to continue their culture. Maybe they're Vietnamese Americans or Chinese Americans, but to promote the multicultural society that we live here in Cupertino. So let's welcome the Far East Lion Dancers. And that was the Far East Lion Dancers, and thank you very much for ending the, tonight's wonderful program. So that is the end of our City Council meeting. So before I adjourn the meeting, that there will be a brief reception in the lobby. The caterers is Le Pete Dior. It's a local Taiwanese bakery. And I want to say thank you for coming to, again, for catering. And thank you, everyone, for coming tonight for a special changing of the guard. I go ahead and adjourn the December 3rd, 2013 City Council meeting. And I adjourned it to December 17th to next regular council meeting. Thank you very much.
All right.